What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the Gamer Heaven. Today we're going to be unboxing, reviewing, and getting some playtime with the Razer HYPR Ultimate Wireless. Surprise! This is my new favorite mouse. This thing is in-game. Pros use it for a reason. Let's get it. So, before we break into the Razer Ultimate, obviously Razer always has very premium packaging, usually laser cut foam, very nice instruction manual, thank you letter from the CEO, and obviously they showcase all the features of the product that you have just purchased. Not all wireless mice are made equal. Ultra-fast Razer hyperspeed wireless technology, faster than any other wired mouse. So, this is touting not only to be the fastest wireless gaming mouse, but to actually be faster than a wired connection, which you're probably thinking in the back of your head, Kevin, it can't be any faster than being wired. Actually, wireless technology has gotten super advanced. This doesn't run off Bluetooth or anything. It has a dongle that is a dedicated 2.4 gigahertz connection, unlike the Razer Basilisk over here. So I have the Razer Lancehead here. This is the Basilisk. The Basilisk actually has a selector switch where you can run this on Bluetooth. Again, I said during the review for this, I do not recommend that for gaming, just for web browsing or, typical computer operations. But if you're gaming, you want to click it over to 2.4 gigahertz and plug in the dongle that's stashed in this little tray here. For sure, you're going to get a much, much quicker connection. This has a 20,000 DPI sensor in there, so again, this is kind of just for bragging rights and whatnot. When you see DPI or CPI, that's basically the sensitivity that your mouse can go up to. But if you're playing first-person shooters, you generally have your DPI or CPI down at about 800 to 1800 in that range. Some people go even lower. I'm around 1800, but I adjust my in-game sensitivity to be a little bit lower, so it works out pretty well for me. Up to 70 hours of battery life, which is pretty good considering this isn't disposables. It has a built-in battery. This mouse also has optical switches for actuation at the speed of light, literally light. It's a sensor that uses a laser or light to where as soon as you start to depress that button, it's getting registered, which is pretty cool. 5 onboard memory profiles, so that's really cool. You do program all the stuff through the Razer Synapse 3 application, which we will do over there when I screen share on my PC. However, unlike the Basilisk and the Lancehead, which only store DPI settings, this stores actual onboard profiles on the memory of the mouse itself. So if you go to a friend's house that doesn't have the Synapse 3 application or whatever, you're able to plug in that dongle, have it instantly start working, and you can set up, you have your profiles for Apex Legends, Warzone, Fortnite, whatever you want to play, and you can switch them on the fly. So that's pretty cool. Also, this is the lightest wireless mouse ever at 74 grams. We are going to pop this thing on the scale and make sure it's not cheating the weight class, that it really is a featherweight. It also has a mouse dock, which is pretty cool. That has RGB lighting underneath it, which is tunable with the Razer Synapse 3 app to match your effects on your keyboard and mouse and your Razer headphones or whatever you have in the Razer ecosystem. So that's pretty cool. And the dock charges it and also props the mouse up at an angle to kind of put it on display, which is pretty cool. When you have a $120 mouse, you probably want that bad boy on display. So without further ado, enough jaw jacking and lip smacking. Let's not cut my thumb off and let's crack into this box. So it opens up like a book. And again, you have really nice laser cut foam in here. Very dense foam. It's very hard, but I mean, it's also gonna hold it in there well for its trip to you. So you have the actual mouse itself. You have some protective film on the bottom. Peel that right off. It's always a satisfying sound. Wow, very interesting skates on here. I have always loved Razer stock skates. I've been using the Lancehead wireless mouse for 2.5 years, and I've had plenty of experience with some of their wired models and stuff. Their stock skates are really good to the point to where I don't even upgrade the skates with some aftermarket G skates or anything like that. They work right out of the box. They glide good. Then you also have a little tray here for your USB dongle. Oh, I see. I was really fumbling with it. All you have to do, there's a little cutout tray here, so you push down, and that props it out like that so you can pull it out. That's actually a really good design, so you don't really have to struggle if you've got short fingernails. You just boom, boom, and you got your dongle. You don't want to be fumbling with the dongle, ladies. All right, we'll set that aside, mess with that in a minute. You have your dock right here. Also has protective film on the bottom. Okay, so it has a very sticky rubberized material on the bottom. Very sticky. So this thing is not going anywhere. It is glued to your desk. Again, this also has an RGB ring around the outside, which will coordinate with your other devices. And you have a micro USB plug in the back. I wish that was USB-C, but we're not going to dock at any points there. And then you have this two-prong design. That's how you're going to dock your mouse and get it to charge. Pulling up the laser cut foam, you're going to have your usual Razer fanfare. You have a nice, this isn't even braided. This is a microfiber, which is actually a step up from braided cables. 10-foot cable here. It is Razer branded on both sides. It also has a logo that says top right here, so you know exactly which end to plug in, so you're not messing up your prongs or anything like that. You have this little rubber tie back, which is pretty cool. And you know, this is used for the dongle here. However, if you do want to use this wired, you do have that option, as there is a plug, a port for a micro USB. The Basilisk over here has no plug whatsoever. So you're using this Bluetooth or wireless dongle. There is no playing with it wired. The Lancehead and the Basilisk here, you can actually plug it in and play wired if you chose to. However, with the way they're touting this insanely fast wireless, I don't know why you'd want to. So this is a really high quality cable here, very soft. So if you are playing wired, this thing isn't going to be dragging across your desk. It's not like a heavy rubber cable or anything like that. Then you have your thank you letter from the CEO explaining what your product does and thanking you. You have your instruction manual here. You also get your Razer stickers. It's not an official Razer product unless you get the stickers, boys. You gotta get the stickers. So very good instruction manual here. It is color in certain parts. You obviously have a lot of lime green in there, as that is Razer's key color. So good marketing there. Very good quality though. Large font, English is the primary language. Very descriptive. Have some pictures explaining how to access your dongle and all that stuff. But if you've got problem accessing your dongle, boys, you might have bigger problems. So it also talks about you can't see it because it's pretty much blacked out, but there is a RGB light underneath here in the form of a Razer logo. And that will actually illuminate not only with your RGB effects, but it'll start flashing yellow and then red when you are low on battery. So the mouse itself, how does it feel? So I love the rubberized material on the sides. It feels just like the Basilisk. It's the same material. It's very grippy. You also have the identical 2 buttons on each side. So don't think that, you know, that these are all 4 different programmable buttons. Whatever you program this to, that is going to do it as well, as this is an ambidextrous mouse. So, you know, I'm left-handed, but I absolutely play with my right hand. I don't know a single left-handed gamer that uses their left hand to aim or even to operate a computer. It's just super weird. But I'm sorry, weird is not the right word. It's just different. If you do use your left hand to operate a mouse, it's good. So anyway, you do have these programmable buttons. They are mechanical switches, very light, tactile, clicky, responsive, good rebound. So believe it or not, I actually don't like the left and right mouse click very much. Turn this thing off so I'm not doing all kinds of stuff on my computer. So I am going to do a separate comparison video of all six wireless Razer mice that are available currently. This is not that video. I do have them side by side right now because I want to feel something here, boys. So yeah, not a huge fan of the buttons. I get what they're going for. It's a Opti switch, so it's, you know, light based. So you don't get that same crisp tactile mechanical click as you do with a traditional gaming mouse or keyboard. It is really quiet, which is good, you know, if you stream like myself and make YouTube vlogs and stuff while you're video game recording, so it's not going to be picked up on the mic as much. Not to mention, you know, even just communicating with your buddies over headset, they're not going to have to listen to clicking the whole time. I know that gets annoying for my console guys, because my console buddies, because they just don't understand what all that clicking is. Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll grow on me, but initial impressions, I don't like the feeling of them. I do like how quiet they are, that's great, but it doesn't give you that satisfying tactile click. Let's check out these stock skates. So palm grip feels pretty good. Obviously, palm gripping a ambidextrous mouse vice a ergonomic mouse, they are different. Obviously, an ergo mouse is more sculpted and a little bit taller and a little bit bigger just all the way around to fit your hand while you're palm gripping. As where an ambi mouse is a little bit better for either claw or fingertip grip. So you got claw, fingertip, and then palm grip. I am going to make a separate video, obviously, on the different mouse styles and the perks, pros and cons of each, but all in all, the skates feel really good. Like I said, Razer has really good stock skates. Oh yeah, these are these are gold. These are butter. So obviously for first-person shooters, I just put my full size up front like that, pull out my one-handed keyboard like that, and I have all this mouse space on my full-size mouse pad. Mouse wheel is really good. You have nice definitive steps in there, which is good for, you know, swapping weapons in a game or just even web browsing. Clicking down the scroll wheel feels okay. It's not like a mechanical switch or anything, but it feels like a traditional mouse. Awesome. Well, let's plug the dongle into the PC and get all the drivers installed. The drivers will automatically install whenever you plug in a Razer device, and you will need to install the Razer Synapse 3 application to calibrate any of your settings. So changing your DPI profiles, remapping your buttons, setting up your RGB lights, monitoring your battery life, all that's handled within the Razer Synapse 3 app. So even if you can get away with just plug-in playing a Razer mouse, just install the software suite. It's going to help you out in the long run. So let's plug this dongle in. So as soon as you plug in a new Razer product, it will install the drivers, and most of the time you need to restart the PC as well. All right, while we wait for that to install, let's go ahead and weigh this. We will use the Basilisk as comparison, as that is another wireless mouse that they currently sell. Again, I will be doing a full comparison of all 6 models that they offer in the wireless gaming mouse department. So, zero this thing out. 2.7 ounces. Let's see if we can put this thing in grams. Yep. 76 grams. What do they advertise? 74 grams. Oh yeah? Zeroed out. 76 grams. 76. 75, 76. 76. Okay, so they're advertising 74. I'm not going to dock them over 2 grams. I mean, my scale might be ill-calibrated or something. Who knows? But either way, that's pretty damn light for a wireless mouse. 109 grams. 76. Lancehead, also a wireless mouse. 113. 109. 76. So yeah, very, very light for a wireless mouse that's supposed to be faster than a wired mouse. Because they're going for ultimate weight saving, there is no RGB lighting in this or anything like that. So if you like to have a cool light show with your mouse, which is kind of cool, but again, a mouse, it doesn't really matter because your hand's covering it anyway. Keyboard, you know, the whole thing's exposed. It's kind of cool to look at. But a mouse, I mean, if you can save battery life by turning the RGB off when you're not using it because you're gaming, then just do that. Oh, so it does have RGB technically. It has the Razer logo there. So it doesn't have, like, you know, lights along the side like the Lancehead here, but it does have the Razer logo illuminated, which is pretty cool. That will coordinate with all your other Razer devices, of course, because, you know, RGB adds frames per second and gets you more kills. Alrighty guys, so I'm about to pop you over my monitor over here so we can go over all of the cool stuff that you can do in there, but I just want to show you guys real quick. Obviously the keyboard, the mouse, headphones, and the dock are all coordinated with the RGB lights right now. You can do much more advanced features and effects on there, but for now that works. I just have this plugged into the top of my tower. Obviously, if I were going to be using this long term, I would just plug it into the back and route the wires and all that other good stuff, but you can dim the brightness so it's not quite as pronounced. I'll show you guys how to do that right now. Alrighty guys, we are over here at my PC now. We're going to go ahead and share my screen and we can go through the Razer Synapse 3 application together. As you see, I have all my Razer devices here. It's my one-handed keyboard. It's really old. It's now considered a legacy device. And this is actually my motherboard, which has lights that coordinate with Razer products as well. So you can create a really cool light show across all of them. Anyway, the HYPR Ultimate over here. So your first page right here, or first tab, is going to allow you to remap all your buttons. Granted, I would leave all these default because whatever game you're playing, you just go into the settings and you can remap all of your settings there. But if you want a button dedicated to something special for Windows, for example, you can launch applications and programs. You can have it control multimedia, like, you know, volume up and down with the side buttons, mute, playback, stuff like that. You can even set up macros. So if you want to press a single button and have it, you know, do a string of 13 buttons in a game or something, you can do that as well. You can have any of these buttons adjust your sensitivity. However, that little button right there, not the power button, but the one right above it, that is for your 5 onboard DPI profiles, and you can switch those on the fly. So over here in performance, you have your 5 DPI modes. If you don't need 5, if you only want 2 or something, where, you know, you pick up a sniper rifle and you want the movement to be a lot more precise and whatnot, you can do that. So yeah, whenever you press that button on the bottom, not only will it switch through in the application, but if the application's minimized or something and you're in a game and you press this, you'll get that small pop-up window for a few seconds letting you know what your DPI now is, which is kind of cool. You also have a polling rate over here, which is basically how often you get data transfer between your mouse to your PC. I would leave that at the maximum of 1,000, so that way 1,000 times per second, I believe, it updates to the PC. Lighting over here, you have the brightness of that RGB logo there. By default, it was at 33, and I think that looks pretty good, honestly. You know, any higher than that, you're going to sacrifice some battery life. And honestly, it's covered by your palm anyway. So when it's just on display on your desk, that looks great and all. But when you're gaming, I mean, it's completely covered by your hand. It's not like a mouse that has a LED ring around the sides of it or anything like that. The scroll wheel doesn't illuminate. So, I mean, it's completely covered by your hand. Switch off lighting when display is turned off and when idle for 5 minutes, I would say. So when your monitor turns off because your computer is on standby, all your Razer devices shut down as well. And when you haven't touched your mouse for 5 minutes, you know, that's a good idea since it is rechargeable to keep that battery life up. Then you have all your lighting effects over here. You have your quick effects, which are just basically preset ones. And then if you go to advanced effects, that's where you get into Chroma Studio and whatnot, where you can set up custom profiles for all your devices. So this is really cool. This is for liftoff. If you guys don't know what liftoff is, it's when you're snap aiming and then you lift your mouse off the mouse pad so it stops scrolling. So if you're trying to track someone and then you get right on them, you just lift up and it stops moving the mouse more or less. You could just stop moving your hand too. That works. But anyway, you know, very few esports athletes actually do liftoffs because it's a lot of effort and it takes a lot of practice to get good with that. But anyway, you can adjust how many millimeters off the mouse pad the laser will still sense. So that's really cool if you're trying to fine tune your movement, your maneuverability. You also have different calibrations for different mouse pads. So if you have a hard and a mouse pad you use or something like that, you can set that up as well. I have a soft canvas mouse pad, so the default works just fine for me. Then you have more power saving stuff over here. Again, after 5 minutes, have it cut off. And then this is a percentage that when you get to your mouse dock will demonstrate that you are low on battery. So if we come over here to the main menu, what the heck? If we come over here to the main menu, you see there's a separate device here. That's the dock. And this describes, you know, you have your brightness, which default I think was at like 30%. I cranked it all the way up to 100 just for demonstration purposes. But yeah, I'll put that over here. So you have different effects here as well. And it does coordinate with your Razer Studio if you want those custom effects. And then it shows you the battery life of your mouse. I am at 42%. And it shows you what the dock is going to do. The dock warns you when your mouse battery is low. When mouse is placed on the charging dock, both devices will indicate its charging status. So the RGB light on your mouse as well as the dock will coordinate to show you as shown by these statuses here. And then we'll have that turn off as well. When the display turns off, all your RGB devices go down as well. So a lot of customizability in the Razer Synapse 3 app, and it's really easy to navigate too. This is my keyboard, my mouse, my headphones. Yeah, I mean, I like the Razer software. I think it works well. So does their hardware. I have no complaints with Razer whatsoever.
All right, so let's hop into a game and test this bad boy as it is a gaming mouse.